Hi everybody, Mrs. Pekin here. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this week's lesson and some information that you might need for my online learners, or those of you that are at home and want a little extra art fun to do. This week there's a few things on the Bitmoji page. The first thing will be the lesson, which we will be doing monster selfie pictures. I've added at the top a resource tab, and I took a picture so that you could find that kind of information. That's a new tab that I've added to my page. That will have, if you go to that tab, it will say monster parts, and you'll need to be able to look at that so that you have some ideas on how to draw your monster this week. Also on my Bitmoji classroom is a little bit about the artist Yayoi Kusama and about her dot pumpkins, so you might want to check that out. There's some information there. You can access my YouTube link for my video either in my Bitmoji classroom, or I've also just added that link to my page for easy access if you just want to go that route. Also, in October, we're going to participate in the Inktober Challenge. So if you would like to do that, there's a calendar with a different drawing prompt every day. So I'm going to be completing those as well throughout October. You can use any supplies that you want for that. So try out a variety of different things. It should be fun. So I'll be trying to share some of my drawings as we go through October. So I hope you enjoy this week's lesson. You will need a black crayon and just some regular crayons as well, but make sure that you look out that black crayon. You'll need some white paper. If you want to use watercolor paints, you can this week. If you don't have those at home, that's fine as well. You can just complete this with markers as well when we get to that step. So see you over at the demonstration table. Okay, we're going to start by choosing a body shape from that monster packet. Remember, that's under the resource tab now on my page. So if you click on resource, you'll be able to see a tab that says monster parts. Click on that and you're going to see all the things you will need. So go ahead, remember this is a selfie, so we're only going to see half or a little bit more of that monster. So make sure that you're only drawing half on your page. Next, we're going to start by adding arms. So go ahead, there's also a handout in that packet that says arms. So go ahead, you could choose just one kind of arm, or you could go ahead and add a couple. Remember, this is a monster, he can have more than 2 arms. I have a little extra space. We're really working on filling our space. I'm going to add another monster peeking into the photo. Time to get really creative. Now go ahead and look through those handouts. You're going to add eyes. There's nose examples. There's feet examples. There's mouths. There's also toppers or horns. So you decide what kind of monster you have and add all of those extra details. We're going to use a black crayon for this because I'm planning on going over my monster at the end with a little bit of watercolor. When I use that crayon, it creates a resist so that my crayon will stay and the watercolors will not cover up my fantastic lines and details. Next, we're going to go back and add a little bit of pattern to our monster. So I want you to think back to color and talking about warm and cool colors. You need to choose a color scheme for your monster. Since I have 2, I'm going to do one with warm colors and one with cool colors. I'm going to start there with the warm colors and create some color and line patterns just to add a little detail. I'm not coloring in my monster because, again, I plan to go over this with paint. I want to make sure my lines are nice and dark with those crayons so that I have a really good resist when I decide to go back with those watercolor paints. So I'm just doing some simple line patterns, repeating those colors. You can see I've been working a little bit on my monster and I added those cool color line designs. I also used a white crayon to create some invisible patterns that will only show up when I add the watercolor paints. So now it's time to paint. You can see that I went ahead and stayed within that same color scheme for my monsters, using warm colors on my monster that I used warm color crayons and cool colors on my monster where I used cool color crayons. So now I'm just going to do a little bit of a watercolor wash in the background just to finish up my monster selfie. I decided to use those warm colors, just making sure they're kind of light and bright, and doing a little bit of blending with the yellow and the orange paint.